Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
Max Gear is a high-performance synthetic gear oil designed to provide maximum protection to heavily loaded gear. Its slippery synthetic molecules and center-look additive package not only reduce wear, they virtually eliminate both gear and bearing wear. We run 1,000 horsepower through our transmission and differential all season long and never have a problem. Eliminate a variable. Drift with Royal Purple Max Gear. Pour purple, Royal Purple. You can find Max Gear at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Motorsports で得た高度な技術、すべてのレイズホイール、一本に込める魂は永遠に変わらない。Beyond the Revolution. The concept is racing.
There's no better way to test your tires than on the racetrack.
They're absolutely shredded now.
That's why at Kenda Tires, we compete with the same tires we sell. And that's how the technology built into every Bethesda UHP Max tire goes from podium
What a performance.
to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda Tires are designed for your journey.
So big one once again for you guys this year. We are giving you the chance to win a brand new one-of-a-kind Mustang RTR inspired by my AutoZone Mustang in Formula Drift. Featuring a custom graphics package, RTR wheels and the same Pennzoil, NGK and Optima products that I run in Formula Drift. Now until October 21st, make a qualifying Pennzoil, NGK or Optima purchase in-store or online at AutoZone. AutoZone reward members are automatically entered for a chance to win with a qualifying purchase. Best of luck and can't wait to see you in a Mustang RTR.
Of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. This is Irwindale Speedway, aka the House of Drift. This is it, the final round. As we take a look at our interesting season, who is going to be our champion? Only one shall be supreme. Big angle there. Look at Castro just has these moments of greatness, and there is one right now. A championship contender is knocked out early. Brandon Sorensen cuts through that smoke, no problem. Boom, oh boy. Are you ready to meet your top 16 drivers here at the House of Drift?
This thing is tuned up, holy.
Big angle, whoa, did you see that? He drops down pretty low there. Now past that inside clip. Oh, right turn goes into the wall. Wow. Your winner unanimously is Nick Novak gets the win. A perfect event.
What is going on, Irwindale? We are here. This is it. This is the finals. This is the last practice show of the year. Loved all the feedback, everything that we've heard back from everybody, and this has already been a wild, wild practice session. Starting on early this morning, it has been nuts. We've already seen crashes, seen people into the wall. We've seen some arguments. It's been spicy, but yes, this is the Type S title fight here in Irwindale, and yeah, waiting on a few more laps, a few more drivers to be going around as we take a look over this absolutely beautiful Drift Coliseum. I mean, this place is magical. This just coming here, getting to walk underneath the grandstand, seeing all the past winners, seeing everybody that has become a champion, been crowned at this location is just absolutely incredible as we take a look down here at Brandon Sorensen, driver that's obviously made such a huge splash over the last couple of years and now currently sitting in 10th, got quite the opportunity to move up as well. Right now sitting tied with Dylan Hughes, but able to bump up quite a bit. Very close to Simon Olsen, very close to Ryan Turk. So we've got a bunch of special guests in here. It seems like a massive family reunion at this place. Ryan Lontaine, what's going on, dude?
Hey, Jacob, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We've had Andy was supposed to be here. Andy and another judge was supposed to be here. There was a fire truck nearby, so he had to go check it out. That's what he's doing right now. But I managed to talk you into it last minute. Super cool to have you back in the building. How you been?
Been really good. It's nice to be back.
Yeah.
I was in Long Beach this year, but you can't miss Irwindale.
Yeah.
Just have to be here.
Look, they had your graphics ready to go. It's like they had to dust those off from that
Right.
folder. We're like, oh, good thing we didn't delete those. Yeah, no, it's super cool to see you in the building. One of the best reasons to come to Irwindale is you get to see all drifting faces, old and new, and people have come back, and it seems to be like this last hurrah. I mean, there's been drivers I've seen here who haven't been competing in 10 plus years, so super, super cool to see. How are your judging eyes still? How are your judging eyes still? Like, do you still feel like you've got it? I know you've taken a step back and kind of just let drifting happen in the background in your life, but looking at it now from sitting here, does the brain start working again?
Yeah, it's not something that you lose, really. I mean, you just watch, how the rules are evolving, and you try to adapt to what's going on. And I've been following throughout the season a little bit with the guys, giving them a hard time when they make a call that I feel like maybe I would have gone the other way. We have discussions, and not like I'm influencing anything because it's after each round, but I just like to talk through things and see, what they're thinking and why they're judging the way they are, the decisions that they're making, how they're taking the sport, and in what direction it's going. I couldn't tell you who's doing what in the championship right now. Right. That's not stuff that I've ever followed, even when I was, judging actively. But just like before, you just watch and keep an eye on what's going on. And I've seen some pretty great runs throughout the season.
Yeah, from the judging perspective, we've seen so much change and so much stay the same. But talking about Drivers' Championships, this is where we're sitting right now. James Dean, once again, 74 points. We'll get into basically how he's able to win a little bit later on, but we may see James Dean win a 4 championship, first time in FD history. That could very, very much happen tomorrow. Odie Bakshi's in second, Frederick Osbo in third, and then now we start to see some young drivers really push up, and that's kind of been the story of this year, is drivers that maybe were struggling to even get into top 10, really pushing up. Here, a rookie come out of what we feel like in the U.S. out of nowhere. If you follow a lot of Japanese drifting, you can see this coming on the horizon, but I guess your take on this, how do you feel about seeing this next generation of driver now really breaking into the high ranks of FD?
Well, Hiroi is a surprising one because I used to go to Japan a lot, and I'd be hanging out at the track with his mom and dad because they would compete in Formula Drift Japan, and he was there as a young boy. I mean, he's not old, obviously.
Yeah, he's not very old now.
But he was 10 years old or whatever it was, 11 years old at the time, and he was starting to drive. His dad would let him get behind the wheel of a car, but it's amazing to see him here competing, and he's in the top 5 right now. That's incredible. Adam LZ in 5th. I know he had a great showing in Europe, in DMAC. Obviously he's had the seat time. He's doing very well, and he's getting to the point where top 5. So yeah, really great to see.
Pretty wild. And what's interesting too is it means that now a lot of drivers that usually classically held those positions, like in Chris Forsberg, now getting pushed further and further down. Jeff Jones 14, Ken Gucci 15. Like, it very much feels like a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's cool. It's to see the development program coming out of what was Pro 2, now Pro Spec, or even other series across the world start to push into this. It's just wild to me to see where we're at now with some of these names. But yeah, it's been, I mean, for me, in this perspective, super cool to see that progression. A lot of drivers that I grew up with now ranking much higher than, we all grew up together. There's that generation that grew up with Jared and yourself and all that, and now it kind of feels cool to have my little group of people that I knew and grew up with, see them start to climb the ranks as well. But yeah, from the judging perspective, your thoughts on seeing a Reese and a Vernon come over and start to do that? What was your kind of initial take when that happened?
Well, I was a huge proponent of bringing over Vernon. I worked with Vernon over the years in Europe, in Japan, and I really liked working with him through the FIA and the other events that we judged together. And I think that he brings from DMEC a different way to look at things. And, I haven't specifically seen how his judging is different from the other guys. Again, I don't follow it that closely. I've been out of the scene here for a year now, but I really liked his way of looking at things. And I thought he was really able to dissect runs really well and really spot what people were doing well and how they were making things work for them, for themselves on the track. So I was the one that recommended Vernon, and I know Reese from the years of judging out east as well with him at a few different rounds. So I'm really happy they're both involved. I think from what I understand, the rotation of judges through the rounds is working out really well.
Yeah.
It seems like that's well received and it's appreciated by the drivers, and that's. As much as like we don't want FD to be this overarching kind of, I guess like a series that doesn't listen to the drivers, right? You want to be able to talk to the drivers and get their input and do things that work for them as much as they work for the series and work for everybody involved. And I think that having that support from the drivers for that type of rotation is a great thing. The fact that they enjoy it, they like it, they think it's a good idea. So, I love seeing that progression in the sport.
Yeah, the listening to the drivers is very important. We had the Drivers Summit last night. I can't get into all the details, but there was a lot of really good back and forth, and FD bringing up things like, what do you guys think of seating bracket? What do you think of this? What do you think of these changes? How the weekend flows, what days work? And there's a lot of input. There's a lot of back and forth on it. There's a lot of listening, and maybe what was originally decided or what FD would have just gone ahead with, not asking the drivers, I very much think it will be different now that there's been input from them. And it's good to see, because at the end of the day, it's important that there's as much input as possible. So, and that's how you're going to have a series that thrives, is that collaborative effort. That's what's on display. On display, Brandon Sorensen back out. So what's going on right now is we've got a bunch of people in, some people from different companies doing some ride-alongs, experiencing for the first time. The other part that's really interesting is the way that the schedule worked out today. We blew through runs like crazy. There is a 12-lap limit for the drivers before we get into competition. And I've got 20 drivers were able to hit their 12-lap limit today. And those who didn't were very, very close or came into some sort of incident. So it's unfortunate for this show because it means we're not going to see a ton of practice runs out of it. But for the drivers to get 12 laps, I think that alone is such a massive difference than what we've maybe seen or heard previously. There's always that, like, I only got 2 laps before I got to go out and even, drive. We're talking 18, 20 drivers that got 12 laps already just today.
That seems like a high number compared to what I remember from last, previous season. So a lot of laps in.
Well, we're doing so many different things. We're the dual burnout box is like one of the biggest changes is just having both cars be able to do it. The other thing too is it means both tires should be at relatively the same temperature. You never got to experience the seating bracket. Coming from the qualifying days, are you pro qualifying? Where were you at with it?
I was never a fan of qualifying. I felt it was one of those necessary evils, I guess. Well, evil's a strong word. It was just one of those things that it tended to drag on, and maybe, I don't know, it felt during qualifying almost like, what are we doing here? What's
Right.
the point of this? Especially after early on in COVID when we eliminated qualifying because of the need to have 2 weekends, like 2 rounds in a weekend essentially. So trying to make it quicker with selecting numbers and names out of a hat basically to get people in the seating bracket. And that seemed to work out really well at the time. And it was sort of like, oh, why don't we do this more often, if not all the time? And I was happy about it. Getting away from qualifying is, I think, a good thing. People want to focus more on the battles. Want to see drivers out there going head to head instead of watching single car runs.
Yeah, and I really do think it helps with drivers to set up a car, develop a car, build it specifically for battles, so we don't see these qualifying layouts or qualifying setups in the car, which are not realistic to what it's going to be in competition. Because that's what we saw a lot of, is that they would set the cars up in a way that is phenomenal for qualifying, but maybe not great in competition as a spotter or even doing commentary. It doesn't allow you to really understand what you're going to see in the show.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that is absolutely right. I feel pretty strongly that that's the case. Having the dual setups where what you do in qualifying doesn't carry over to competition. So in a sense, what was the point, of that?
Right.
And I get the historical sort of, we've always done qualifying, this is the way it's been done, and but I think progressing the sport and bringing it into, I guess, a more like quick and short, and get the action on the track, get both cars together. Let's be honest. If you're going to show drifting to somebody who doesn't really know what drifting is, you're not going to go towards that single run. You're going to say, watch this tandem battle. Right. And why don't you just want to show that all the time? And I think the drivers are very comfortable with the randomized, early on in the season, like getting this sort of, I guess it's results based for some, and then you got to bring in the other people that compete in the tandem bracket into the full tandem bracket, right? Like what do they call it? The seating bracket?
Yeah, so you got your seating bracket, and then that's.
I feel like I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm working.
Everybody's learning together.
Yeah. The randomized comes from the COVID era, right? Fully random, just kind of throw them into names in a hat, pick it out, and then you find your spot. And I feel like even that worked during COVID, during those rounds. The drivers, the competition was strong, everything was great. But now having a more structured sense of that, I think, works as well. It's kind of blending both, right? You have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you have something that's very stable, and then you have a little bit of the random with the chip draw that's done to shake up the order a little bit. James Dean, I mean, this is kind of the story of the weekend right now until, we really do crown a champion. But getting to, I know you're somebody that, especially in the past, decade, really obsessed with global drifting. You traveled a lot, you judged in so many different series. You knew of James Dean, you knew what he was capable of probably well before he made his name here and before he made his mark here and went, back-to-back-to-back championships. What do you think the lasting legacy is here? Like the term, greatest of all time is something that gets thrown around quite a lot, but 10, 15, 20 years from now, we talk about James Dean and drifting. What do you think is going to stand out?
Well, here, us as Americans, we tend to just kind of be concerned with how many FD championships does a driver have, right? Somebody gave me a number earlier about how many championships that James Dean has.
As a whole, like
as a
globally,
whole.
yeah.
Do you know? Have you heard the number?
I want to say 11.
I heard something like 16. I don't know if that's true, but it's a lot.
Ridiculous.
It's a lot of numbers.
Right.
You think about how many championships he's won in different series all around the world. I don't know if it's, I don't even want to say it. It doesn't make sense. They said that he won 3 championships each year that he won the championship here. So it was this championship plus 2 others for the 3 years in a row. So that's 9 championships he won in 3 years.
Yeah. It's
in different series around the globe, which is mind-boggling to think about. Not just the time taken to drive in all 3 championships, but the time, like how much effort it takes to go all around the world and be successful to the level where you're a champion in 3 different championships in 3 consecutive years. It's incredible.
So we're getting a bit of an update here. So this is If you don't recognize this car, that's fine, because I don't recognize it either. That is Connor Shanahan in what I believe is his third vehicle of the weekend in Meg Moomy's cars. So I don't know if this was a demo drive or a test drive or what was going on there. I know he was in Amanda Sorensen's car a little bit earlier on. I have to check in with rules to understand how any of this works, but I don't believe. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting like up-to-date info as we go here. There's a certain point where once you drive that car, that is the car you were driving for the weekend. So I'll have to just get some final clarification on that. But he's in Meg Moomy's car, who's local, who runs in Pro Spec. So yeah, just absolutely wild what's going on there. I don't know what happened with the first BMW or the second BMW, but this man does drive hard. And another, you want to talk about somebody coming over from Ireland and is a legend of the sport already in a very short period of time. Mm-hmm. You think drifting in Ireland, you think James Dean, but you also think Shanahan's.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, when he said over my earpiece here, I heard, and that's Connor Shanahan, and I thought, okay, what's special about that? Because I did not know that this was not his car, but I think I remember him having a Red Bull livery.
He does have a Red Bull livery, right? Yeah. It's Rome's old car that he's running.
Okay.
There's a couple of laps done, didn't look great. He went out in Amanda Sorensen's car, and then now we're seeing him in a third car. So yeah, I think we just need to get clarification on what almost like the Parc Ferme rules are with something like this. But really, really interesting. A driver that wants to move up significantly more. Missed a round. I mean, he's sitting in 11th right now. Could pick up quite a lot of points with this round. I mean, could move in theory as far as 6th place. So, there's a lot on the line there.
The fire department, there's nothing too serious.
No.
People are stuck in an elevator. It's not.
Yeah, that's it. They're partying.
They're down on the ground floor. It's not like they're up multi-levels up in the air or anything. They're down on the ground. Everything's safe.
I think they're just grabbing merch now at this point.
Yeah, right.
It seems like pulled into LZM.
LZ stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So with with a year gone now, which is crazy to think about in my mind.
Yeah.
Has it given you time to reflect back on your years in the sport, kind of understand everything that you've done for it? Have you had a chance to absorb the fact that you're like, oh, I did step away? How long did that take before you oh, I'm not there right now?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I was actually talking to Ryan Sage about this earlier when I got here tonight and telling him that it's like looking back at all the years that I was judging Formula Drift and other series around the world. It's hard to stay in the moment and appreciate what you're doing at the time, But looking back, it's very easy to think back and say, wow, that was incredible what I got to do. That the events that I got to see, the different series, the different countries, cities, the people that I met along the way. And it as you get older, you just realize I should have taken more advantage of being in the moment and really appreciating. I'm not saying I didn't appreciate it because I did a lot of tourism, things that I took the opportunity to do, but really being involved in those series was really special. Being a part of Formula Drift for 13 seasons was phenomenal. It's one of the I guess foundational parts of my life. Really, it's like what did I say all those years? I'm a drifting judge.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what that was. When you're on an airplane and people say, "Oh, where you're going and what are you doing?" And, "Oh, I'm going to judge drifting." It sounds ridiculous to people. It doesn't sound like a real job, but it was for a very long time. But yeah, it's just I think it was early on in the season where I realized that I missed the camaraderie. I missed being around the other judges. We spent years and years and years together, traveling all over the place, rolling around in a van in Japan in the back while Mr. Awada drove way too fast through the night as we tried to get home. But we talked so much about drifting, and I don't think people realize just how much drifting talk we would just for 8 hours straight from Okayama back up to all the way up to Tokyo. And that's all we would talk about, the events and FDUS and what can we do with the rules and the different judging regulations and how can we change things and make them better. And it's living your life that long in so deep in one specific I don't know,
Yeah.
sport or whatever it is that you're involved in is it's hard to like pull yourself out of it. But I feel like I'm fully out of it now, but I still love to come to events and catch up and see you guys. So
Well, from the sport of drifting, from Formula Drift, and for myself in particular, thank you so much for everything you've done for the sport, everything you've done for FD, and the small things over the years you've done for me as well. It's greatly appreciated.
My pleasure.
It's not the same not having you here, but I'm glad you're having a good time. You get to hang out and watch like everybody else. So for everybody watching at home, thank you so much for a bit of a different practice show here. But yeah, cool way to wrap it up, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to wrap it up with 2 Canadians on board. So thank you so much, and thank you everybody for watching. We're going to be right back here with the seating bracket. It is going to be incredible. Von Gittin Jr. is back on track, and I could not be more excited. So catch everybody real soon.
Welcome to Formula Drift.
What you want? I'm a cowboy. I like Velcro.
Right? I know.
Free Jacob. I am now.
Let's set it! We are live in Salt Lake City, Utah Motorsports Campus. That's right. Round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. A championship could be crowned here today. And it could be James Dean, first ever 4-time champion. But the pressure and all of the weight lies on Odi Bakshis's shoulders. That's the big news. Are you ready to send it?
The best part of waking up is driving in the event with the judges. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. We got fans queued up here. This line is huge.
Sweet hats, bro. Thank you. You stoked? Where are you coming from?
St. George, Utah.
St. George, Utah. All right. What's up with the pink pants? What's going on here?
For Lorette. We're trying to get Lorette to come over.
Oh, fancy pants?
She's in that trailer. She's right there.
Lorette! They are wearing official Lorette Nickel pants.
No. Are you serious? You guys, I'm so grateful.
Didn't know there's a Fancy Pants fan club. All right, Takayano, look at this guy. Absolute vet right here. What's the biggest progression of the cars and the drivers and the show and everything, the competition?
You gotta have a team, and driver has to be good enough so that the whole team go together.
So it's not just me, it's we. Trying to interrogate people. Look at these 2 cowboys.
Look at boots, bro.
Those aren't boots. Those aren't boots. You got sweats and a cowboy hat, dude. What's going on here? You're not a cowboy. Nah. What? Jeff Donati, how we doing, dude? We bid you adieu, man. The pink pig. She gone.
She gone. There's a lot to do, a lot to experience, and I want to see what else is out there and keep having fun.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right,
Keep it up, dog. Have
See ya.
fun. How we doing, dude?
I'm good.
Yeah? Cool. Are you karting? Are you racing anytime soon?
Yeah, just came to hang out. See you.
Kicking it? I know. Love this kid. Great kid right here.
Andy, why are you such an angry elf?
Why am I angry elf?
Yeah.
It's because when I hear the sound of your voice, it triggers me of all the 20 years of you screaming into the microphone about how wonderful you are.
Jared Gander sucks.
I just talk shit, dude. I'm a puppet.
Yeah.
Shove your hand way up there. I'm Jared Gander. Like I'm like Kermit the Frog.